Okay, Dragon 1. Let's warm up a little bit, get myself in tune. Keep going. Totally pre-thought my movement. Good warm up, good warm up. Okay, let's step back to the right open X and then step forward to a horse stance. So anytime we're pulling ourselves away, especially if we're pulling ourselves away from, a violent, you got the contraction of the stomach, the adrenaline being dumped in your body, that's actually very difficult to change that into a forward momentum unless you train. Your body's going to want to continue to go wherever you pull. So I want you to pull back to the open X and then shoot right into the horse stance and then stand back up. So it goes all the way back, hands up, and then push and back. We'll just do lightly at first, but as we get going and you're warmed up with it, I want you to put yourself in the position of pulling your body back and then driving your body forward, not just the dance of the legs. You need to put your mind behind this as well. Okay, so here we go. It's going to be the right leg moves first. 1, hands, step, and back. 2, hands up, and back. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So in training, you guys are all higher belt, so in training, we pre-think our movements a little bit. We learn very quickly to get quicker that's expected, so it does become a bit of a dance step. In reality, you have somebody coming back, you might do something different. So sometimes when you have a movement, you have to train yourself to make a decision and then move on it without interrupting. So my brain is saying, back up, decide to go forward. Okay, so this time, don't change much, but add that decision to go from back to forward. Ready? 1, back, forward. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So right leg dominant people, left leg dominant people, you'll have a tendency in emergency situations to move your dominant leg first. Even being trained, you'll have a tendency. I'm right-legged, but that doesn't excuse us from practicing the other side. So now we go to the left side. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, we'll do 10 more. Again, pay attention to the decision when you decide to go forward. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, shake it out a little bit. So we'll go to the other side and we'll start adding a few things to it. Let's add locking the thrust. So first defensive motion, we'll just lock it, let go of it, and go forward. Okay, so just casual, relaxed motions. 1, lock, forward. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Other side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, so on that one you might even feel it a little easier to make the decision to go forward because you know you have a lock there. You've done it enough times to realize it's different thinking. So let's add the side kick to the step up. So go ahead and lock the leg, step forward, side kick, back, and center again. Okay, so take your time on this. And I know this is nothing new for any of you guys, but I want you to process that point in your brain where it decides to be, defensive movement decides to become offensive. There's a little bit of a click that goes on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We'll just do that to the other side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Shake that out a little bit. Let's go back to the other side and go ahead and let's go ahead and add a front kick to that, and let's change the side kick to a backhand. So go lock, front kick, backhand, and back up. Okay, so lock it up, kick, forward, another step, backhand. If you don't have the room, as soon as you're in the horse stance, you can throw the back fist. Or if in your mind your opponent has dropped, okay, so he drops there, bang, that's fine too. Okay, here we go. In fact, actually with the room, let's cut off the second step on that. Okay, 1, so catch the lock, front kick, into the horse, boom, hit a backhand. And stand up. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Other direction. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I just made that one up. 9. Forgot the front kick. Back. 10. And stretch it down. Just loose kicks. We'll go back to the open X and lock in the thrust. Good motion for the whole body. Right leg back, lock to the left side, and we're just going to pull him into, I want you to think maybe a punch instead of a kick, a side heel thrust. However, I gotta tell you, if it's a punch, I'm moving in and out. Unless he's really committed, I would probably use Calm Me the Ocean, but I want to try and lock in the thrust. So I'm going to come over. My visual is this, right? So I've got time. So we're going to come back, lock that arm, and then we're going to shoot inside the arm or the body, go for the head, and then close it off that direction. Okay, so he's like this. So you're shooting that lock from here to the back of the head, and your elbow is coming to this side of my temple. Okay, so here we go. 1, lock, and shoot inside, and close it off. And back. 2, 3. Still good solid lock, please. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Excellent. Now we'll go to our adopted side here. 1, catch. It is our adopted side. 1.
Some of you, sir.
Let's see. 1, lock, catch. Oh, thank you. Adopted side. Okay, the ugly stepchild on my side. Okay, here we go. 1, lock. Okay, it's back. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So my general rule is, for my training anyways, if it takes me more than 3 to reorientate something I should know, then I need to add that into my practice. If it's just like a couple of slop ones and then I'm back, I'm okay with that. So that took me like 4 to orientate. So we're gonna stay on that side. If that was your best side and your other one was the opposite, you can switch. Okay, so here we go. 1. So I'm doing the same left side. 2, because I have to build it up, because I listen to my training. 3, I listen to the messages. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, now we go right back to the other side so that we can see if my learning was right. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Right to the other side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, let's go back and forth. Okay, right, left, right, left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And shake it out. Okay, that puts it back. Probably critical in your training is to make sure you're switching in your brain, you know, left, right punch, or at least you know what's happening. If you don't know the movement, then it's best to get it down. So on that technique of that movement, or any movement, I always look at when I need to practice my own training is it the sequence of movements? If it's a sequence of movements, that just takes time. It might take you 5 or 10 of them to get the sequence down. Or is it the body not doing something? That, to me, that's a critical piece of information. If it's just a sequence, that's memorization. I forget them, who cares, right? After a while, you're like, whatever. But if my body doesn't want to do it, that's what I'm learning. So, in this particular movement, this motion here, that leg forward was way different than this one, which is unusual because this is my good hip now. So I now know that it's not all, I don't get lost in all those things. I see that moving forward with that leg, there's a little hesitation. I remember what I said, in a self-defense situation, your body probably won't do something unless it's its last resort that's going to put it in a disadvantage or thinks it. So I would probably not go forward with that leg unless, you know, it was the only thing I had. So that movement is off compared to the other one. This one, that twist, no problem. So I'm going to reverse to the side. So let's do the right, left, no hands. Let's just do a right leg back, horse, left leg back, horse. And I want you to feel which one, if they're both equal, you need to go back and forth on this exercise. If one feels like, whoa, out, you need to stick on that one. So for me, it's going to be this left version. So let's go right leg back, no problem on that one. All the spin kicks. Left leg, still a problem with that. Okay, so I'm on the left side. I'm going to, because I'm teaching you how to practice, I'm taking out all this other extra stuff to get us to think so I can totally focus on one thing, and that one thing is the turning of the hip opposed to the step. I need to rotate around as I step forward. Okay, because I can feel that's what my other leg's doing. So here we go. Pick your side. If they're equal, please alternate. 1, Doesn't even have to have a hand motion in here. Add the hands if you're good with it. Ready? 2. I just like to isolate these motions. 3. I can get a little better today. 4. Succeeded. I've reached my goal. 5. 6. 7. 8. 9. 10. Okay, so knowing that and practicing it is one thing, but there'll always be the hesitation because my body knows the other side of it. So I have to give it something more than the other side. I got to reward it. So I have to give it something that only works with that turn of the hip. Okay? I don't want to go the other direction or I create that. So I want to add a motion to it that will make this motion lock into it. And in this particular case, a spinning back kick would work. Okay, if I don't cheat and turn into the spinning back kick. Okay, so I'm adding the spinning back kick. A step up side kick would work. A step up back kick would work. Pretty much anything that gets here that you can do from here that you have to do from there, that you have to be in that position. Remember, your mind will think of the last thing you're doing, so it'll want to place everything where it should be to make the last thing easier. Okay, so I'm adding the spinning back kick. Okay, here we go. 1. 2. 3. 4. 5. 6. 7. 8. 9. 10. Okay guys, knowing how you train, how you practice, and what your body says to you is more important than the movement you're doing. Get in tune with that. So I know what happened to me, and which probably happens to you guys too. So you start focusing on the spinning back kick now. And you're finding errors that you're doing there. That's not the point. Okay, keep your focus on what in this case, what I was trying to improve. As I was doing that, my body finally, I've got that. It's moving that way because it wants to kick. Since I'm right-legged, it's getting this foot out of the way. So let's go back to that first motion. Whatever side you're doing, so I'm going to keep the left side, so it's going to catch the lock, step in, and throw that elbow in there. That should feel almost the same as the right. If it doesn't, go back and do what we just did, but mine pretty much does. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, so as you get better at these movements, when you do movements you know, a really interesting thing starts to happen. You start to realize that it's just your brain that needs to be realigned a little bit, not learning the new motion. And so you have to play with motions to figure out what gets those neurons to do what they're supposed to do. If you haven't learned these movements, you have to create those neural pathways. All you guys are higher belts, they're already created. So now you just got to figure out which one to use. And that is you going inside your practice and your body and then feeling it. If you weren't in tune, if I was not in tune with the feeling of that hip rotating compared to this hip rotating, I would have just went through my practice with maybe a little frustration and a little bit of sweat. So let's go back to a right open X and the catch. And this time we'll just pull it right back to the left bow. Then we'll do a step up front kick, okay? So we're gonna go open X, lock, pull, hands open up and let go of that arm, step forward, throw the left kick in, and then stand back up. Okay, and again, these movements that we do should feel like the last one. Even if they're different kicks, it should feel that smooth. Ready? One, because we are just combining motions you already know. Two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight, nine, 10. Okay, so one advantage of training your movements from the different angles, stepping back, stepping to the side and kicking, and then mix them up, is that your body wants to take shortcuts. So it will stay more neutral. If I leave you out here back without that forward motion, you'll start to change your posture to make that easier. But the whole point of the lesson today was to get you to make that conscious decision to go back into your opponent, which is a very hard thing to do when somebody's coming at you, right? To make a decision to go from defensive to offensive. That's why we train. So in this case, here to there, the body says this is too much work, so it stays neutral. And when you're neutral, you're allowed to move to any direction. So we're going to go forward and throw the side kick. Okay, so step back and catch, forward, and kick the next guy. There you go, and then back up. Stay in neutral. One, catch, and back. Two, catch, and back. Three, four, five, six, seven, eight, RC, 9. Okay, so usually thrust kicks, unless somebody's holding a pad for me now, I don't fully extend and thrust on the last 2 inches of the kick. I know to do that anyways. I don't want to hyperextend my hip over and over again because there's no rebound there. So I do more of a, so if you're just noticing it, not to speed up, but I'm doing more of a non-thrust side kick, more of a snap. I'm just letting the motion go because I do so many of these, I don't want to, there's only so many of those I can do before I have one longer leg than the other. And it's not good for your hips. So, but you do need to do a couple of them. So we're just going to do 3 with the rotation, but don't hyperextend and lock your leg out. We're going to extend it out so it goes slow. 1, this could be quick. Take your time, rotate out and then get it back. Okay, 2, this can be quick. Take your time, rotate it out. That way you don't get a shorter kick. And 3, and you don't damage your hip. Perfect. Okay, let's go back and change it to a movement that way. So catch, catch, step, step up. We're going to do, so I want to think that way. This leg is going to get you to lean because it knows it's going to lift, right? So it's going to, there'll be all sorts of cheats going on. So instead, I'm going to do a back kick with my forward leg. So I'm going to move this a little out of the way, turn around, and kick them and then get back. Okay, so we're just going to shift. Forward concentration. Okay, a little bit forward, side concentration, and back out. Forward concentration, forward, side. And here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, stretch it down, relax the body. Go through all your major joints, your muscles, release the hamstrings, lower back. Nothing should have been overly worked today. A little further down if you can hinge at the hips a little bit more. And a little bit lower. Then you can bend your knees. Hands out. Hands on the knees. Push your back straight so you don't hurt your lower back. Stand back up. Shake it out a little bit. Let's go into tiger plank ball, so we'll focus down on our breathing. Butterfly breath. Seek a slower breath down. Breathe in. Stretch it out. And let it all out. In. And out. And one more, just like that. In. And out. You're going to move into a left bow stance. And you can put the left hand on top first if you want, or the other hand, doesn't really matter because we're doing the breathing. You're focusing all on your left side or whatever leg is out. When we switch sides, you'll focus on that. When we're in the center, you'll focus on the center, but bringing it all in. So all you have to do on this one as you exhale is crunch down with this side and let this side expand a little bit. Okay, so you don't want to just crunch down. I see students doing that. That's a good exercise, but it's not what we're doing. So you got to bend a little bit on this one and really focus on your spleen area here. This area should expand a little bit. If you can't do that from a good solid deep bow, pull it up, and you should be able to do it the way we normally do it, which is in this Xingshi stance, because it gives you more room. But eventually you're going to have to lengthen this stuff out. Okay, so here we go. Breathe in and turn the hands. And go. Switch to the other stance, you go to the other side. This is the liver side. Now we'll shift up to the front. So you can use just this normal neutral position with your toes slightly in, or you can go all the way out to the horse but keep the knees in. We're working all the straight muscles, but the side ones have to come in too. I'm going to use hip distance apart for my stance so I can get tighter, squeezing. Breathe in, and down the center. Relax a little bit. So most of those breathings, of course, are used to tone you up and do a lot of other things, but mostly strengthen you up. They do have a tendency to concentrate everything where you might get hit, the front of your body. Okay, so we know that this is a bad posture. We need to pull it up the other way, but generally speaking, when somebody hits you, you don't reach out to. So we have breathings to do that. We probably should start doing those more than those after you're good, simply because of our lifestyle, computer, sitting, but it was never, used to be like that, so you'll have to just add this on your own. I'm going to put my left leg in front of my right, put my left hand on top of my right, and I'm going to breathe in. I'm going to push down with the top hand, up with this one, and I'm going to exhale at the shoulder, solar plex level. I should have only a little bit of breath left. I'm going to want to squeeze my glutes together, Okay, and go slightly forward to take the curve out of the lower spine. And I want to pull my hands all the way back, lift them with the sternum, and I really want to make sure there's no air left as I get down to here. So I'm going to be expanding with no air. It's easy to expand with air. Without it, it's going to release a little bit. And you're going to breathe in again. As you breathe in, you can hunch a bit. So here we go. Let's breathe in. Start breathing out. And relax. A couple soft breaths. One more. And out. Okay, let's close it off once with Dragon 1. So when you do Dragon 1 one more time, compare it to the first one you did. Depending on what the workout was, you should always move better than you walked in here for, right? But if it's a fatigue workout, that might come later. So with the workout that we did, Dragon 1 should feel looser and more warmed up and better than the first 4. So let's see if that's true. Just right to the front again. So I moved better, my open X, because of the open X's we did were a little tired, so that's a good thing. So remember, one of the general rules is we should always move better than we started, or why are we training? But take that with knowing that you might move a little bit after a workout this way. It's 2 days later, 3 days later, you're moving worse, that we're doing something wrong in your training. Okay, so let's get that out. Okay, so